Hello, 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 listeners! Welcome back to the Backed Backlog podcast. I'm your host, Sam, and with me, as always, is my co-host,
Lindsay.
Woohoo!
Today we're going to be talking about virtual pets, whether it be in games or my favorite Tamagotchis. I'm an avid collector, actually. So a little bit about that, and then talking about games where you get to raise your own little pet or take care of something, because I think those games are just so relaxing, and they're generally pretty cute too. So there's some of my favorite just to kind of relax too.
Heck yeah. I know a lot less about this, but I have in recent years picked up some LCD pet type things, and I definitely had some in my childhood, so I'm very interested in the topic.
I think the ones you're talking about are really interesting because they're video game, like part of video games that I had, like it's not the video game itself necessarily. It's like a virtual pet within a video game for some of them, I think.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'm interested in that because I've never played the base, like the games that you're talking about. So I never even knew that was a thing.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
So, this past few weeks I have been playing a bunch on the old Steam Deck and everywhere else, actually. I got to play some West of Loathing, and it is by far the funniest game I have ever played. It is so hilariously written. It's kind of point-and-click adventure-y, but then it's also a turn-based RPG. But it's so chill. Like, there's a hard mode if you want an actual challenge. But I totally didn't. I just wanted to laugh my ass off. And it's great. It's just a bunch of stick figures. It's based in the same universe, technically, as the old Kingdom of Loathing, like Web 1.0 MMO. Where there was an old like stick figure kingdom and you could be silly classes like the Pasta Mancer. West of Loathing is a console Steam traditional game, like Unity a game, I think. And it's a bunch of stick figures in the Wild West, very weird West. And I played classes like the Cowpuncher. Actually, so the Cowpuncher was my second playthrough. I played through as a snake oiler the first run through. Yes, exactly. It is so funny. Yeah, no, the snake oiler is like adept in guns, but also has like poison stuff, and like you start off with like a snake whip. Like you whip a snake at someone to poison them. It's hilarious. I did crazy stuff like I found like a silver plater, and he would silver plate anything. And I was like, well, he's like, I can silver plate your gun. And I'm like, what else you got? What else you got? What else you got?
Silver
At the end,
plate
he's like, I can silver plate your tongue. And I was like, I'll do it. He's like, all right, 2,000 meats. The money is meats. So I paid him my 2,000 meats to silver plate my tongue. And then it was like, you then promptly ask for your money back. And he agrees because you're now silver tongued.
I get it. I get it.
Crazy funny. It is so good. I
That's good.
I just can't recommend it enough. I also picked up on the PS5 a little bit of Ollie Ollie World. I have not beaten it. But I
played that.
I loved Ollie Ollie.
I think they came out with a version of it for the 3DS that I vaguely... the 3DS that I vaguely remember.
I forget what the original two were called, but there were two, indie skateboarding games where your ollies, your kick flips and such were all based on the thumbstick instead of a jump button. And they were pretty good, but they were definitely wicked hard. Ollie Ollie World is like this nice like glow up. Like imagine if the first two Ollie Ollies were like Mario Bros and Mario Bros 3. Ollie Ollie World is definitely the Mario Bros world of the skateboarding game here. Like it's got a cool story, it's got a great cel shaded art style, it's a lot easier, more approachable. One of my favorite things is that like all of the skateboard sounds come out of the DualSense controller speaker, so like you can just hear all like the grinding sounds and the truck sounds, just all coming from the controller under your hand. It feels cool. It feels really nice. I'm having a lot of fun with that. Um, and I think the last thing I got to mention is I got my Playdate came in. My Playdate by Panic. Panic are the guys who made Untitled Goose Game. And a couple,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, and a couple. They made a couple other things, like a Mac app of some
I
sort that was
just
pretty
love
popular.
that game so
Um, yeah, they
much.
just decided that they wanted to like make a hardware. So
That's really
they
cool.
partnered with Teenage Engineering. And you might recognize Teenage Engineering products at like, I think it's IKEA that has a bunch of products
Yeah,
designed by Teenage Engineering.
like it's a Swedish company, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Um, and so it's just this adorable little yellow handheld that like I put my Steam Deck and the Playdate next to each other, and it's hilarious, right? Because like one's just like humongous, like a Switch on steroids, and this is like the tiniest like candy bar phone you have ever had.
Yeah.
Um, and it has a crank, and like no, the crank is absolutely not to charge it. It is a gameplay mechanic. It is a new analog control. And I love that. Like I missed the days of going to the arcade and having like the rollerball games,
Yeah.
and so like this is just like another thing that like the game I played, so you get 2 games every week on from the moment you activate it, and that's the season 1 of games. So you get 2 games on every week until you get 24. And the first couple games that were unlocked, um, there's a like a surfboarding game, which is all right. It's kind of arcadey and like fun for a distraction. The other one's like a little like Game Boy styled RPG where you're this dude who moves to town, and like everyone in town's obsessed with taking photos of birds. It's called Casual Birder, and you take your camera out and you have to take pictures of birds, and you use the crank to focus the camera, and it's absolutely wicked cute and wicked fun. And I've
It
been
is
having.
very cute.
Oh, and the other game I picked up for it, because you can buy or download games from Itch and just sideload it, by throwing like the file onto the sideloading webpage on your account. Because you download all the games from the internet to it. Is called Bloom. Um, Bloom is got to be like by and away the standout game for me on this device. I mean, we'll see when I get more games, but it's just this adorable visual novel where you're this college age, well, you're this Japanese girl who like quits college to start a flower shop, and you're texting your girlfriend and you're texting your parents and you're paying for rent, and you turn the crank to go up the elevator to the top of the building, and you have a little flower garden, and you gotta grow flowers, you gotta plant them and water them to make money. And the story progresses by like you saving it, putting the game away, and then like coming back in like half an hour. So like you'll go through a bunch of conversations and then there'll be nothing, and you're like, oh, I gotta put it away, and then you leave it alone and you just walk away, and then later on you just pull it out and you're like, hey, I wonder if there's new updates. Oh yeah, the story progressed. So it's a great little like put down and pick up game. The like it's meant for you to play it in little snackable bites.
Yeah.
Um, you can't like just rush through it. There's no speed running Bloom, so it's a pretty chill game. So yeah, that was a lot. I definitely played a lot over the weeks here.
On the I have absolute other side of the spectrum, I have not. I did finish out somewhat the Cycle Frontier beta. I did stop playing it, not because I didn't like it, but because I knew it was just going to be reset, and I'm like, I really don't want to like grind it just to have everything. Like it's going to have seasons anyway, and like I don't mind at the end of a season everything being wiped, but I wasn't going to put the time into it. Um, Oh, and I was incorrect about Escape from Tarkov. The game developers are Russian, but the game is based in the UK in London, I think. so it doesn't look like it's going to be shut down probably.
Oh,
Um,
that's a nice
but
thing.
yeah, we were thinking about playing that, but they just started like I don't remember what the update was, but it was like it made it more hardcore and harder for newer people to like get in and play.
Oh,
And so I haven't touched that. Um, but I have a couple of people from the gaming community I'm a part of that we've been playing Fortnite. Which is I've always only played solos, so I've been playing like singles and I'm sorry, duos and trios on a pretty regular basis, and it's been a lot of fun.
that's cool.
Um, and I mean, my friends that I've been playing with, she's like very methodical and like, you know, we're gonna go from point A to point B, and I'm just like throwing fire grenades. Just to, I don't mean to be a chaos gremlin, but I am at heart. Um, so I've been playing that, and it's been a lot of fun. Like the game gets a lot of flack, but it really is a quality game, and I've really been enjoying it.
That's
So, and
cool. That's awesome.
it's like a comfort game too, because it's like not like I don't care if I lose. It's not like I think that's the problem that I was having with like Psycho Frontier or Tarkov is like what you have to gear up, and like if you die, like you lose that,
Yeah.
you lose your stuff.
Oh, that's
But with like you know things like Fortnite and you know other battle royale games, you just pick up what you find, and I think I like that a lot better.
yeah. It's a little more roguelike, honestly, where like your starting point is the same every time.
Kind of. Well, for Fortnite, you jump out where you want to go,
No, okay.
and then like the circle closes from there. I don't remember how. I literally am blanking on all of it. I played others. I just can't remember. Apex. I don't remember how Apex does it. I haven't played that in a while. And PUBG is the same way. You like go in an airplane.
Mm. Um. Oh, I wanted to mention an update on the Anacrusis. I did finally get around to having a buddy play that with me again, and they have 100% been working on it and updating the game and actually making it better. We did not have the lag problems we had before. They added like 2 new episodes. Like we had a blast.
Is it still early release, or did they fully release it?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I think
Okay,
it's still
fair.
early access, but like because they don't have all the episodes out yet. Um, so maybe they're waiting until then, but like jump in now, like because they'll probably raise the price again before
Oh, that's a good
the
point.
final launch, right? And
Yeah.
it's like it's fun now, and like they put little goals for you to unlock stuff. Like I unlocked a bunch of a couple cosmetics from just doing like the goals. It's like, hey, you need to use this grenade on 15 times or beat episode 2 or whatever, and like so I unlocked some sweet cosmetics.
Cool.
Yeah, so it was wicked fun. I'm glad that I picked it up again and that it's still good and like getting better. So
Good, good, good.
yeah,
And I guess with that, we are hopping right on into our main topic.
heck yeah, tiny pets on the
Tiny pets on
go.
the go. So I'm going to be talking mostly about Tamagotchis. Japan has a ton of like other like non-Tamagotchi like odd pets. Um, that are I mean they've been around just as long. Some of them are really really crazy. And some of them are also very expensive, especially some of the older ones that are like sought after by collectors.
Mm.
Like Bandai made one called what Magical Witches, and it's this really cute like it's shaped like a storybook, and like there's I think 3 different colors, and you get to like raise a little witch, but they go for like $500 or $600 plus. Like
Ouch.
they're so expensive. You know, so there's a lot of like little pets like that, but there's just too many to talk about. So I'm pretty much just gonna uh, concentrate on Tamagotchis. One, because they're my favorite. Um, and two, it's the one as a collector, it's the one I own the most versions of. So, so the Tamagotchi was first released in 1996, but they're still being released. The newest versions are they've been coming out with a lot of nanos, which are just they're kind of like there's less features, I guess. Like they're kind of light, like Tamagotchi light. But the thing is even though they're easy to take, I mean, I like them because they are easy to take care of. But they're coming out with different like intellectual properties, which I'll get into in a little bit.
Oh yeah,
But
I've
so
seen. I think I've seen some of those. Yeah.
They're everywhere. Like, I mean, I saw the Pac-Man one at GameStop recently. Um, and those have global releases. There's a couple that are only like Bandai Premium Japan, but like you can still get them easily ish enough.
Mm.
The next version, newest one, is called the Tamagotchi Pix, and it is. I mean, it has the same functionalities as like some of the older color Tamagotchis, but it like it clicks and it'll take pictures, which is really cute. Um, so like in order to unlock certain things, like you have to take pictures of a certain color and it unlocks things. That's an English only version. And then the newest Japanese only release is the Tamagotchi Smart, which comes on a little watch. You can get little different
Oh, that's cool.
like cards to put in. Like it comes out of the watch too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think the watches are honestly kind of flimsy. I don't think I would trust it
It's good that
to not
they're
fall out.
removable.
Yeah, and then you can get the little. They're called smart cards, and they have like different characters and items on them. I think there's 6 or 7 now, ish. I don't remember how many there are now, but those are still coming out. Like the latest one came out like last month or something like that. I actually just started mine up for the first time at the beginning of the week, and it definitely runs different than any of the other ones, but it's been a lot of fun so far. Um,
That's cool.
yeah, it's been fun. The nanos, those have been like, I guess, I don't know. There's kind of a joke in the community that's like, oh God, it's another nano. But at the same time, they're easy to take care of. They come out with so many IPs. Some of them are Hello Kitty, Evangelion, BT21, which is like the chibi, like animal versions of BTS.
Yeah, I've seen those a lot. I love the designs. I just
I
like
do too.
I really am not a huge K-pop, and I don't want people to be like, "Oh my god, you're a fan of this K-pop." I'm like, I just like the character. It's just a
I
cute
mean, you
little
can
thing.
just like the characters
I
because
know,
I
right?
do listen to K-pop, but I don't like listen. Like, I'm not an avid BTS fan. Like, I like them, but like I like like I like the little chibi
Oh
characters.
my god, they're super cute.
Pac-Man, Demon Slayer, R2D2 one is really cute. Common Rider, and they came out with an Eevee one too.
Best.
Yeah, the Eevee one's actually pretty hard to find.
Can that one is it just Eevee or does it like at a certain
No,
point evolve?
it's oh yeah, it evolves into any of the evolutions.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cute. It's so and there's like two different shells for like different color shells for it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's one of the ones that I regret not buying both of at the time because they're really hard and really expensive to come by now. So and they were more expensive at the time anyway because like normally they retail at like I don't know like $15 to $25 depending on the version. Like I saw one for $12, the Pac-Man one for $12.
Oh yeah,
But
I see the. Is that the Pac-Man one that you can find at like every store around?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay.
Mhm. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's everywhere. I don't think that one sold that well because it's also the one I see the most on sale.
I think they
But
just
like
flooded the market with them.
I think they did too. But like the Demon Slayer ones are around like $25.
Yeah.
The Eevee one I think I paid like twice as much for that. Maybe not twice, but it was expensive and it was hard to find even when it first came out. So the prices have just gone way up since.
Yeah.
Um So the vintage Tamas, they're actually not my favorite. I
Okay.
don't like the V1 and the P1 and the P2, which are like the first two versions of the Tamagotchi that were released. I think they're really hard to take care of. I think they're miserable. Like I own a couple for like collectors purposes and they
Sure.
remade them. There's also a phone app. But I don't like them. Like I don't have fun with them, so they pretty much like just sit on a shelf.
Yeah.
Um,
I like the V pets that like don't die or get sick.
Yeah, I had Gigapets as a kid. I did not like I still don't like the original Tamagotchis.
Yeah.
I think they're a pain in the butt to raise. Like you really have to keep an eye on them, otherwise they die.
Okay. Okay. I have a quick question.
Of course.
Did you see Turning Red?
I haven't yet, no, but
Do
there
you
was
do you know which model
I
that is?
it's not. It's its own thing.
Okay. Okay. It's just inspired.
It's just inspired by, yeah, it's not an actual like version. Because Bandai owns some of the like because they've come out with like Disney collaborations in the past, so
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll like make one. Um
Oh, that's a.
be-
I didn't even think of that. I don't know
yeah.
why.
Well, so Star Wars is owned by Disney now. They came out with a R2D2 Tamagotchi. They've done Disney Twisted Wonderland, which is like a mobile game. They're coming out with Kingdom Hearts Tamagotchis.
Nice.
So
So,
I'm hoping, and there was one version. There's like an add-on to a Tamagotchi that was Disney themed. So I mean, it could happen.
okay. So
Uh,
okay. As a total noob to
mhm.
Tamagotchi, so these newer ones are like a lot easier to take care of. They are less needy.
The nanos, yes. The color Tamagotchi, I think in general, yeah. Because they're still coming out with color Tamagotchis too, and they have been since like 2000. I don't remember the year. Um, Maybe like 2000. I don't remember what year the Color Plus came out. That was the first one.
Okay. Okay.
But I mean, they've done like a lot of like Japanese pop culture stuff in the past. Like there's an older, like a vintage Tamagotchi that's based off of like a TV show. There's another one that was the Hanaruchi, the Tamaoch, which is the was based on a Japanese actress, but I don't remember the name of. There was a version of the Color Plus, which was the first color Tamagotchi that was based on the band Exile, which is like a Japanese boy band, rock band kind of thing. And then recently they released a Tamagotchi Spark Dizu, which is like a a Japanese K-pop band, a Japanese J-pop band or girl group.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
So and there's a lot of like vintagey ones. I mean, they came out with an angel, a devil, a Santa,
Yeah.
Mothra. So
Oh
they
my
did a
god.
lot.
I love Mothra so much. That is
I
my
do too.
favorite kaiju in the whole
Yeah,
pantheon.
mine too. I love Mothra. I own that, but like I was telling you before, I can't really run it because the back
Oh,
screw is stripped, and I can't use it.
oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
So, what are your favorite Tamagotchis that you have, or
So
in general? I guess.
yeah, the Tamagotchi connections. I actually bought one when I was in high school. And those came around out between like 2004. I'm sorry, yeah, 2004 to 2009. There's about 8 versions. They're all English. There are like Japanese versions of some of them too. Um, Not all of them. Like there's a Japanese Music Star, which was a Tamagotchi connection, which was like based around music. There wasn't a Japanese release for that, but some of them are interchangeable. They had connectivity to other Tamagotchis. I think there was a website you could like play games on, and
That's wicked
uh,
cool.
yeah, I think that was one of the ones you could do that for. But there's a lot of fun shells. Like they're the way they look is super cute. So some of the shells are really sought after by collectors. Like one of my favorites is it looks like a cookie. I don't own this one because
Okay.
it's $1 million, but it's like it looks like a cookie. And it's just like a really cute chocolate chip cookie pattern on it.
That's awesome.
And then when I do own, it's like a surf scene. So it's got like a surfboard on it, a palm tree, and like the ocean in the background.
Nice. Nice.
So I like that one. Some of them are more basic.
Hmm.
Oh, the other one I like, it has what's one of the music stars. It's blue and yellow and has drums on it and stars. And I
Okay.
play the drums, so I like that one.
Nice.
The Color Plus I really like. That was the very first color Tamagotchi that they ever made. And I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's pretty simple,
Mm.
which is kind of what I like about it. But like the screen is nice and big. Like the characters are just like really like big and colorful. Um, Plus, I like the Exile version because it's got the band members in it, so that one's cute. Another favorite is called the Tamagotchi Peas. It came out, I think it was technically the third. Trying to think. It came out after the Color Plus, like 4 or 5 models after it.
Mm.
Because they released a bunch of them. So the first one was the Color Plus, the ID and IDL, which are they're fun. I don't they're not my favorite, but they're cute. But and the gameplay is pretty similar to the Color Plus, I think. But then there's the 4U and 4U Plus, the Ps. Then you get into like the ones that have come out more recently, like the mixes, which started coming out in 2018, I think, 16.
Okay.
So I mean, it's like a pretty big span from like the past decade. But the Tamagotchi Ps is a really popular one in general. Like I think I own 3 of them, and like they're just really simple looking. Like they're all like some Tamagotchis have like really crazy face plates, but the Ps are just very simplistic. They're one color generally. They have like little kind of um, like diamondy looking things on them, and they have like a hole, like a socket in the top that you can put what's called pierce in, to add like extra characters and stuff. So it's like it's just really aesthetic looking because like each
Oh,
pierce looks different.
cool.
Like there's one that looks like a crown. There's one that's like a big bow. There's one that's like Sanrio characters, Disney characters.
So this is like a little like cartridge with some sort of aestheticness on the outside.
It looks like an earring, like just kind of a
Oh,
thick earring. So
okay.
it's got like a thick kind of USB looking plug, but it's not like it's shallow. And so you pop it into the top of the Tamagotchi and you can use the like download the information from it.
Yeah.
Um and it's really cute. It's one of my favorites, and you can also connect it to like phones and just download like different characters and different items for
I'm
it.
I'm
So it's a
I'm loving these like there's ones that can connect to each other and can connect
yeah.
to other devices and things. Like
Most
I
of them can
really dig
connect to
that.
each other. Most of them connect to each other regardless. The 4Us, which is another one of the ones I really like, are popular too because you can download different characters and different.
Hmm.
Oh, that's the one you can download different characters for.
So
You can still connect Ps to a phone, but the 4U is the one that you can like get different characters and items on
gotcha.
using a phone.
So like you can connect two Tamagotchis together and like what do they like have a meet cute like play date thing or something? Or...
Some of them, yeah. Some of them just have a little play date with the mix and the meats. They introduced like genes essentially, so you can like marry.
Oh, cool.
Um,
Okay. Yep.
you can connect it to another Tamagotchi. You can marry that Tamagotchi. You could marry in, like the characters that already come loaded onto the unit, or the mix and the I'm sorry, the meats and the yeah no mixed meats. There's so many of them. The meats and the on, which is the on is the English version of the meats, have phone connectivity. Well, the meats did until they shut it down like last month, I think, March. Um about in March they shut the Japanese app down and the English app is getting shut down in August. But like right now you can still go on, like I could take my Tamagotchi on that's like an adult and like play a little like dating game in the app and like marry it off to something that I like.
Oh my god,
Um
that's adorable.
it's really cute. I like the mix and the meats a lot. Um there's just they came out with like a bunch of different versions. Like the Sanrio one's my favorite because I love Hello Kitty. But there's like a sweets one that was like all like dessert themed. The characters they added look like little desserts. There was like a fantasy meets that looks like it's not Disney, but it's like storybook characters.
Okay. Yep.
Um, and they've come out with a bunch of them. I think I own one of each probably because I have a problem.
I
Um,
don't have a problem. You have a collection.
I do. Luckily, it's like they're
They're small, so you can fit them like
yeah. Well, and the like North American packaging for the on and the Pix is huge, like needlessly. Don't know why. So those take up a lot of space, but everything else is like relatively like tucked away easily.
yep.
Um, so I think those are all my favorites. It's hard to choose just one. But the ones I've been playing the most are like the meets and the on because I like the gene mixing. Um, so I really like those, and I just like the characters and the different the faceplates for them.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
But as a collector, like the most coveted ones that I found, like, and I don't like paying. Like, I'm not one of those people that if I see something, like, I gotta buy it. Like, if it's too expensive, like, I absolutely won't buy it. Um, like, I don't think I've ever broken that exception.
Oh yeah, I totally get that. You gotta have your limits.
Yeah, and it's like, there's a couple that I've paid. Like, I have a Tamagotchi P. It's the actually it's one of the coveted ones because it's in the box. It's the I just forgot the name of it. I can see it from here. I'm just trying to remember the name of it. The Dream Coffret
Okay.
um version. So it's like basically got like a makeup theme. And I that was one I had been looking for, and I didn't expect to find it in the box. And I found one. Someone on one of the Facebook groups was selling it, and I'm like, that was a little out of what I was expecting to pay, but like it wasn't, it was like
Yeah,
it wasn't that bad. So that one I got, and that one goes for a lot more now. So that one was a steal. Um,
that's a good feeling.
yeah, they came out with the Twisted Wonderland Nanos. And I've never played they actually did come out with the English version of the game.
Hmm.
But at the time, I think it was Japanese only, and you could only get these through Bandai Japan, like their premium website. So they were hard to find. You couldn't, and they were kind of expensive too. But and there was like like a handful of different versions. Um, but the artist who does the art for like who created the characters is the same artist that created Black Butler.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I had to have it. So I got a couple of those, and I was really happy to do that. I was happy to track down those. I have the Fate Extra Tamagotchi, the Exteligotchi or whatever it's called. It was only I have just the Tamagotchi because I got it through a website, but it only came with the Fate Extella Celebration box, which is like a 10th anniversary.
Yeah, of
Like
the Fate series.
yeah, it was like like to celebrate like 10 years of the anime. Um,
So what is the? Is it like you're taking care of Saber or something, or?
I don't know if Saber's on it. I bought it and I've never like it's still in the packaging. I haven't played that one.
Fair enough.
I don't know if Saber is in Fate Extra because I the
Oh, I know nothing about that franchise, so it is
so the
totally fine.
yeah, a lot of times each of the Fate like games or like TV series, anime series have their own like storyline. Some of them, like a couple of them, have the same characters just told from like different character perspectives, but
Yeah,
most of them are like different incarnations of that. Like, so Saber is the one you think of as like I guess the most well known, but there's like other Sabers, and I've only ever seen the Fate Unlimited Blade Works and the other one that's like the same storyline from a different perspective.
yep.
So I don't know all of the ins and outs. So there's a lot of different characters. So, but I don't know if she's on it or not.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, no, I think I think everything I know about Fate I know from like listening to Garnt on the Trash Taste podcast. Like
Yeah,
that's and
it
it's
feels
a
like I
lot
keep meaning
and
to
it's
watch.
confusing and it's
Yeah,
totally not for me and I totally am fine with it being for other people.
it is for me. I just don't always want to read. I have a very short attention span, and like I don't like just watch a show. Like I get up and like I move around, so it's really hard for me to watch anything with subtitles.
Yep. I understand.
Um,
Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't.
exactly, and I haven't been able to recently, so I'm definitely like I'm a trash dub watcher, and I'm okay with it.
I love dubs. I absolutely love
Some
dubs.
of them are so bad, but
I
yeah,
oh for
I like a
sure.
good dub.
I don't mind when things are bad. It's
I If it's meant to be bad, like if you've ever seen the dub for Ghost Stories,
I
the
own
English
that
dub,
DVD box set and I have
oh
lent
my
it out to
god,
people. I
it's so
love.
The first time I watched it, I was crying, laughing. I just, oh god, it's so funny. Like
It's so early aughts, like South Park humor.
it is, and I don't even like South Park, so it's amazing that I like that. But I was crying watching it the first time. Uh,
Uh,
oh,
so,
uh,
any more Tamagotchis you'd like to mention before we start to branch out here?
I think just the there's a couple of Korean There's I think just two Korean Tamagotchis, a Nano and the Tamagotchi Sum, which it's the same version as the Meets and the On, just Korean, but it has like really special faceplates. Like they're just really um like unique looking.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I was able to track one of those down, and then I have a couple of the like rarer Peas Pierces, the Disney Sanrio, and the Dream Ribbon, which is like this big, like way too big ribbon that you literally like just socket into the. It's ridiculous, like it's huge, and it looks ridiculous, but it I think it's pretty cute.
Hey, being OTT is always cute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, some fun ones before we move on to the actual video games. There are a couple that are just really unique. So in 2007, they came out with the Tamagotchis. Came as a set. You grow the relationship between the male and the female Tamas, and they like connected, and that's how you grew the relationship. So
Mm,
they were sold as a pair. Um, I have the black and white checkered ones because it reminds me of ska.
heck yeah.
So those are really cute. The gameplay is pretty simple, but like it's not about the gameplay; it's about the connecting.
That's a cute
Um,
like couples gift
it's
thing.
a very cute, yeah. Oh yeah, that too. Um, and then the Tamagotchi, I can never say them. The Ochi and the Mezochi, they're kind of the same thing. Like there's one and then the other, and like the Tamagotchis just had like a soft part on the top that you press together.
Oh,
But
weird.
these actually you took like a cap off of it and like smushed them together for like gene mashing. So like this is the first time like there was like genes and like involved, which was interesting.
Gotcha.
They
Yep.
definitely expanded on it in later, but this was the first. Um, a fun English release was the Tomatown Tamago. It came out in 2010. You could connected to a website, I believe, and it had interchangeable figures and faceplates that you could buy extra of and like slip on and off of it. So those they're it's kind of clunky. It's huge. It's like twice as big as like as any of the others. But it kind of has to be sturdy enough because the characters are like, probably about an inch and a half tall. So to slip it on, it's got to stay up. So those were fun. And then they're coming out with I'm pretty excited for the actual BTS nanos because they're coming with like little character like the members of the band like stands to hold the Tamagotchis.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
They're so cute. The Kingdom Hearts Tamagotchi that I mentioned earlier. There's a new version of the Tamagotchi picks coming out later this year, and then they're releasing smart cards. So there's still a lot to go through. Like there's still a lot of enjoyment to get out of a very old franchise because they're still releasing. Like there's still a big community on like Facebook and stuff like that. Like there's groups, people talk about what they like, don't like, trade Tamagotchis, stuff like that. It's a really fun community to be a part of. And that is my rant on Tamagotchis because I love them.
Heck yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I. It's funny. I did not grow up with Tamagotchis. They were definitely like amongst the people in my classes, of course.
Yeah,
But I grew up with a Pocket Pikachu. And
those are fun.
I loved that thing to death. So it's listeners, it's like a pedometer. So like
Yeah.
it has the little step count thing. Um, So of course, what every one of us did was we, sat there in class like
Shook it.
jacking, shaking it, or we put it
That's what
on,
I'm about to say.
or we put it on like a laundry basket on top of the washer dryer and have it like, and it kind of worked sometimes. And why would you do this? Because your steps count as money towards things that you can buy Pikachu and make him happier and happier. And I think
He deserves all the things.
Oh my gosh, I think one of the last things you can unlock is like, I just remember, because this is all distant memory for me, but I remember Pikachu on a hang glider and it being the coolest freaking thing ever.
Was it released in English or was
Oh
yours
yeah.
in Japanese?
Oh no, it was in English.
Okay.
100%.
I have one of the Japanese ones.
Oh, gotcha.
So I didn't know there were English ones.
Oh no, they were out there just, it was definitely during the Red Blue Gen 1 time frame, maybe around the same time as them releasing Yellow.
I think the one I have is Japanese. I don't know. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I know that they made
two versions.
a newer version. They made like a color version to go with like the Game Boy Color and Gen 2 stuff. I'm pretty sure, but I never saw that one. But I knew a lot of kids who had Pocket Pikachus. It definitely came out in the States.
Yeah, I didn't know a single person. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But I didn't know a single person that had one.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, Pokemon Fever was crazy, and I was just all into eating it all up. So I was there for Pocket Pikachu. I do know there was a couple of folks in my class who were like secret Digimon fans because you couldn't be a fan of both. For like most kids, it was like a rivalry thing, which is crazy, right? Because clearly the Digimon anime was better.
I couldn't stand the voices. I tried to get into it because I'm like, well, I like Pokemon, so I'll probably like Digimon too. And like I lasted 10 minutes and I'm like, this is like nails on a chalkboard.
Oh, that's totally fair. That's totally fair. Their voices are not like soothing.
Like they don't even have to be soothing. They just have to be like a fraction. They're kids
trying
annoying.
they're trying to sound like kids, so they're a little obnoxious for sure. It had a continuing story. It didn't feel like a monster. Well, it was definitely a monster of the week, like literally, but it felt like the story was progressing each week. Unlike kind of like, so I love the first season of Pokemon, and I like a few of the other seasons, sure. But Digimon just like the story felt more like a traditional anime where like there was a story arc going on.
Yeah.
And like you were moving from bit to bit and like the characters dealt with inner turmoil and they changed. And some seasons are better than others, of course, but wow, the way tangential, of course, because the Digimon like was a VPET. It was like targeted as Tamagotchi for boys because like you get to raise dinosaurs and they poop a lot. And then they can fight each other. So and they have recently from the makers of Tamagotchi. So it's definitely like the same company.
Yeah, Bandai makes them.
Yeah, they were just marketing towards
a different crowd. Yeah, Tamagotchis are traditionally marketed towards like teenage girls, like preteen to teen girls.
I will say I have because there's been some anniversaries. They re-released the original Digimon V-Pets, and I have one, and I wish I had picked up two because one alone is kind of worthless. Like
they're not that expensive.
They're really like not. I'll probably pick up
they're
another.
$12. They're less expensive than the Tamagotchi re-releases, which are like I think $20, and generally I don't think worth it.
I definitely got bored of like cleaning up this dinosaur's poop, and I was like, all right, you can just stop. And I put it in the box again. I might pick up another one at some point just to experience the full experience of connecting and fighting them, right?
Get one for your wife and make her play with you.
Oh my god, she'll kill me.
Yeah.
I totally
my boyfriend's not into them either. He's like, you have too many. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's like he's confused but supportive.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like, I'm gonna let you do whatever, man.
Oh man. So the other thing I got to talk about is the Dreamcast VMU, and I've talked about this 1,000 times, and I will continue to talk about it because it is one of my favorite things ever, and it is the reason why I still have the Dreamcast set up in my game room. The memory cards for this thing were amazing because they had screens on them. And yes, you could the games while the system was running would use the screen in the middle of your controller, which was great. Sometimes it just showed a logo, sometimes it showed like actual game information. But the really cool thing is every once in a while a game would let you load up a special mini game onto the VMU, and then you could take it out and you could walk around with it with its two paltry watch batteries, and you could play the mini games wherever you go. And obviously the biggest one was Chao Adventure, that was from Sonic Adventure.
Yep.
And Chao Adventure 2, which is just the same but for Sonic Adventure 2. So you got to raise these little Chao pets, which are freaking adorable little blue cherub things in the Sonic universe. You feed them animals to make them grow and gain characteristics, like different animal characteristics, like wings and leopard prints and stuff. And you could then throw your Chao onto the VMU, and they would go on this adorable little adventure, and they would walk around, and they would just they'd be going for a walk, and like a bunch of different little tiny stories would happen to them. And it would there was a few stats. So the original Chao garden, they hid the stats from you. And even I think Sonic Adventure 2 might have hid the stats from you as well. I don't think it was until the DX that they showed you all the stats. Could be wrong about that, but there were stats that you could... Oh, that's what it was. You could only look at what the stat numbers were on the VMU game. You'd had to load your Chao onto the VMU, and then you could look at what the stat numbers were. You couldn't see it in the main game. And there was one stat that you could only... I think it was the luck stat? You had to go through this tiny little story about your Chao bumping into a genie. And if you played certain options just right, then you would get a bump in your luck stat. And it was the only way. They're freaking adorable, and I love them so much.
It's something I definitely wish they would re-release somehow. I don't know how they would do it, but...
honestly, I think if they were to remaster the Sonic Adventure games, or if they were to put a Chao Garden into one of the new Sonic games... they could totally let it so that you could upload your Chao to the internet and download it onto an app on your phone. And that would be the perfect analog for what that experience was like back in the day. I totally think a Chao Garden on your phone that connects to a game would be the best thing.
There's something similar out there. It's not like Chao, but it's called Melbit's Pod. And you actually I have it because it was a Kickstarter.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a phone app, but you also get this little egg looking creature that you incubate and raise and play with, and then you set it out onto the internet.
Oh, that's wicked cool. I'll have to ask you about that again later to look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a few games, only a handful of games had a proper good game to download onto your VMU. I know that Skies of Arcadia had Pinta's Quest, which is actually my favorite because it is just this crazy airship adventure thing. Just a bunch of cute little vignettes and mini games. And I think that Soul Calibur actually had a bunch of mini games from what I'm remembering. I don't think I've played that one though. But it was cool. The batteries died pretty quickly. I will say that the Dreamcast VMUs, the connector on the top of it that you're supposed to you can get a cap, and everyone loses the cap on their VMUs. You plug that into your controller. You can plug, the way they designed it was that you can plug the VMUs together. So I think that some of them, I think the Soul Calibur one maybe, definitely the Chao Adventure one, I think you could connect the two Chaos and trade either trade your Chao or trade items or something. Oh, because you could put items in there too. That's right. Oh, I'm trying to remember because I've never had another person to VMU to VMU talk. You could also, because they were memory cards, you could just trade save files, because it was your memory cards. You could just trade your save files by connecting your VMU to your buddies, which is interesting. So on another platform, Sony experimented with trying to copy the Dreamcast VMU with the Pocket Station. And I don't really remember which one was first, but I have a sneaking suspicion that Sega was first in this one case, because Sony didn't go all in. Like, this was just an experiment, and they didn't use it for a lot of things. But the one notable game for the Pocket Station, so it was just a PlayStation 1 memory card that had, like, little Game Boy buttons, just like the VMU. And I think Final Fantasy 7 or 8 came with Chocobo World, and it was very similar to Chao Adventure. You know, your little Chocobo goes on a bunch of adventures, and I think like Penta's Quest, you could kind of tell the Chocobo, like, hey, go explore this area, hey, go explore that area, and then there was a way to get items and stuff back into the main game from Chocobo's world, so a lot like Penta's Quest did as well. And it was really cool. And I know about it only because the PC release of Final Fantasy VIII had the Chocobo world as like a little Windows desktop like minigame. And I think even the Steam version, some of the Steam versions of Final Fantasy VIII, you can launch Penta's Quest. In Skies of Arcadia Land. You could launch Chocobo's world. So that's really cool. So that's where that comes from. That's why there's that little weird LCD minigame that comes with your Final Fantasy VIII Steam release. Is it because it was on a Pocket Station thing? So that's I just like that. It's really cool.
I think we talked about it a few episodes ago because I played that that Switch game that was a remake of a Wii game that was based on that PS1 game.
Whoa, yeah. I think so.
I didn't like the remake that much. I got bored of it pretty quick. But it's pretty cool that they kind of brought it back.
Yeah, I think they're slightly different, but
I think it's definitely not a true clone.
But you're right. I definitely have talked about this before.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's just a LCD VPET that was just a Chocobo. It was wicked cute.
Yeah, I think the Switch game was just based on they took the idea from what you're talking about and made this. I want to say it was a Wii game.
I never made that connection when we talked about it.
I only did because I looked it up.
That would have been what it would have been inspired by. Interesting. Whoa.
When you're like, I know that game, I looked it up, and then it was like, oh, look at that.
So another obscure one that I'm like, I think is wicked cool is, I don't know if you've ever seen a Wonder Swan. I don't think there was an American Wonder Swan. I've seen plenty of Wonder Swans at like anime shops and things, but I think they're all Japanese because I'm pretty sure all the games are Japanese. But there was an Evangelion game for the Wonder Swan, and it was kind of a VPET game where you were, I don't know if you're familiar with Evangelion.
Yes, deeply.
Awesome. So you're Kaji, and Kaji's going around and talking to people down at Nerve and around town, and you have to take care of Adam, like the fetus version of Adam that he shows up with in Gendo's office. Like, you take care of that as a VPET. And that's
wonderful and horrifying. I wonder if they took the Tamagotchi programming from that.
I wonder. I just know that the Evangelion game for the Wonder Swan is a VPET, and I'm like, really? Had to look it up. It's really cool that. But also, if you've ever seen Evangelion 2.22, the second movie, Asuka's playing a Wonder Swan. Like when they're at the aquarium, she's playing a Wonder Swan. So it's a nice little callback. I always liked the video game references they had, because even in the anime, when Asuka goes over her friend's house, they're playing the Sega Saturn, and the Sega Saturn had some exclusive visual novels, Evangelion visual novels. So I always like the video game references they have in that. But yeah, Asuka's playing a Wonder Swan all the time.
But did Shinji get in the robot?
But did Shinji get in the damn robot? I don't. Honestly, with the VPET game, the Evangelion, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, because I think you just play the whole game as Kaji. So
yeah, probably not.
But I know that I think if you power up the angel that you're taking care of, like you can use it to fight or something at the very end or so.
That's cool, but also like deeply unsettling.
Yep. Yeah. So you mean Evangelion?
Yeah, right. Yeah, endearing but deeply unsettling. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sums it up. That's it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
speaking of deeply unsettling,
Oh God.
I definitely wanted to mention the two pet games that use microphones. So the deeply unsettling one is Seaman for the Dreamcast. So it used the Dreamcast microphone. I think it came with a microphone in the box, and you take care of this fish with like a man's face on it, and I'm pretty.
Yes, I've seen that. It's the worst thing ever.
Yep.
Oh God.
And I'm
I didn't
pretty
know what
sure
it
they have
was.
some like original. I think they have like Sulu from the original Star Trek as like the voice of this crazy fish, and you just like talk to him, and it's totally like this weird middle-aged man, the fish, the game.
Just
I actually
yeah.
I have not played this one, despite playing most games on the Dreamcast. This is one because I just have not gotten at my. It's not enticing enough for me to go out and buy a microphone.
Why would you want to play it? Like it's just like I've seen it. I've seen it and I know what you're talking about and I hate it. It's literally like a salmon like
Yep.
trout fish with this like head. It's
Hello,
just
I am a fish. Yeah.
I can't. I've seen it and it's so unsettling.
And then, of course, the other infamous microphone-based pet game is Hey You, Pikachu for the N64 and the N64 microphone that came with it. All I really know about that game is that people have said that the microphone, the voice recognition is pretty mostly just volume-based and not actually trying to recognize that you've told Pikachu to do something. Supposedly it can recognize a handful of words that you can say to it. Like supposedly if you say the word PlayStation, he'll like get mad and thundershock or something. I have not gone out and grabbed myself an N64 microphone to go out and play Hey You Pikachu. Maybe one of these days I will, because I don't know. I like weird control mechanisms, and
I do
yelling
too, yeah.
at your TV is definitely a weird control mechanism.
I would imagine that. I mean, the technology wasn't even that much better when you got to the like 3DS or the original DS. Do you remember the original Nintendogs, where like I could just not get it to recognize any stupid commands? And like I liked the game, but like my dogs were very untrained because I could like I don't know if my microphone was broken. I own the one for the 3DS, but I haven't really played it. I like that one because it's got cats, and I'm more of a cat person. I don't know if the pets games like PETZ, those games, I don't know if they had mic connectivity, but I feel like it would probably be better because there was 1,000 of those games, and they just like poured money into the development because they were popular. Like kids really liked them. I was working at a game store when they were like at their height of popularity, and like they sold really well, like boys and girls. So, but
So good. Yeah, I will say there is one honorable mention because I have 0% experience with these games. But do you remember the old 90s games Creatures?
no.
Oh my gosh, they are the most 90s looking thing ever. And I had a few friends who were like wicked big fans. They I don't know, they give off like Lost in Space 1999 alien pet creature vibes. They give off like that sort of CG look that like a little because it was a PC game. It was like it wasn't like Donkey Kong. It was more like
like movie CG, like early movie CG.
yeah, kind of like an Abe's Odyssey kind of look.
Okay.
That kind of look to it. So that era, but just a little bit higher res. Definitely that like SGI pre-rendered look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I all I know is that it was a artificial life game, and some kids I knew really dug it, and I had to mention it as like an honorable mention, knowing nothing about it.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Really cool.
I'm
Really
still
cool.
thinking of fish. Ugh.
I'm
I
sorry to
see
have.
that in my nightmares
Oh,
tonight.
I'm
Ugh.
sorry to mention Seaman.
It's also just such an unfortunate name. Like, why would you name that? Why? Ugh.
It's funny. Sega sometimes every once in a while they'll come
I
out with
know.
some shock value name for their games. Like, oh, what was it? They had like a XY Touch Me or something on the DS.
Oh,
Um,
I remember that.
I'm totally getting the name wrong,
Yeah,
but
but
it
it is
was
like
very much like that.
there's
Um,
also like a WarioWare touched game, which I realize isn't Sega, but
sure.
there's just like questionable.
Yeah, the DS had a lot of those. But I think it was just like it was just a bunch of mini games about like people falling in love and dating and stuff. And it was actually kind of wholesome and cute, despite like the like Ratchet and Clank levels of suggestivity in the name. Um,
God.
uh, I don't know. I think I've run out of my VPET's knowledge. I'm digging. I love the little LCD things. As I said, I just picked up a Playdate, and I'm hoping to have, maybe there'll be some VPET thing on here. And if not, I have a
If there
lot of.
is, I will buy one just for the VPET,
Well, you know
just to
what?
try it
Maybe
out.
I've got the SDK downloaded, and maybe I'll get off my butt and program a VPET game for it because it is very inspiring.
I'll be your tester. I am
Heck yeah.
an expert at like little virtual VPETs. I do. So I am actually. It's funny because I have a Instagram called like, oh God, what's it? Irresponsible Tamacare, because like I love Tamagotchis, but I have like a really bad attention span.
Yeah.
And like it's just pictures of like me like accidentally making them sad or killing
Oh
them.
no.
Or like there's a picture of me like on a nice beach, like left my Tamagotchi at home, it's starving. So for as much as I like them, I'm not amazing at taking care of them.
Oh
I just
yeah.
think they're adorable.
Yeah, maybe I think years ago, like maybe like 10 years ago, when I first started my steampunk group, um, one of the things I was supposed to do and I was super jazzed about was to make a VPET game for our website. And I I did not have any
I would
experience.
play a little steampunk.
I had no idea how to design a VPET game because I hadn't actually played any of them other than like Pocket Pikachu, and it was just I kind of did a half-assed job, to be honest, but it was mostly just because I didn't have enough depth and knowledge right
Well,
about
if
it.
you want to
But
borrow some to make one,
oh heck
I
yeah,
we live in the same city and I own a bunch of them.
that's fair. Well,
Well,
yeah, I'd love to see. I need to know more about how they play. Really, I
yeah,
definitely love the sort of bunch of little tiny stories thing that like the Chocobo world and the Chao adventure things did. Um, I kind of dig that style. I love the Pocket Pikachu. Um, and I think it was because of the weird gimmick of it being a pedometer.
yeah.
And
They actually
just
made a lot of those. A lot of different. There's Hello Kitty pedometers. There's a weird McDonald's one that's like in the shape of a hamburger. That was like a Japanese like McDonald's
oh, that's cool.
toy.
Okay,
Um,
I can definitely imagine like a purple grimace shaped one, right? So,
I think it's just it's like a weird hamburger shape.
oh, with lettuce buttons.
Yeah, I mean the Tamagotchis you feed but you also have to make sure they're like happy. So you like play games with them,
Mm,
to raise their happiness. You can like take them out. Some of them like go to different locations to like play with other like Tamagotchis on the device or play little like games that are specific to that location. You can pick up like items, like buy items with points, and that playing with those like raises their happiness as well. You can go to the park. So there's a lot of like little things you can do. And it's not really that hard to learn how to do like use the Japanese ones either. Like
yeah.
it doesn't take that much. Like
Well,
there's guides out
I
there.
was gonna
Like
say
it's not that hard.
most like VPET stuff, it's all like symbols on the screen, or at least it was when it was just like
It's a little more complicated now.
it is a little bit more
Yeah.
complicated now. All right, I dig that. I
Yeah.
dig that.
But it's still not that hard to use.
Yeah.
Like my first color Tamagotchi was the Sanrio mix, And I was nervous because I didn't know if I would be able to learn how to play it, but it really didn't take that long. Like I watched a couple of videos, like looked at a guide, because there's a lot of people in the like Japanese speaking people in the community that like translate stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The P's you can actually patch with a phone to be in mostly English.
Oh, that's cool.
I can't remember. I don't remember if you can do it with the for you. I don't remember. I haven't used mine in a while, and like I have one of my P's is patched because I purchased it that way because I don't actually have a device that will connect to either. My old phone used to connect to the for you, and then it updated, and now it doesn't. So.
Oh no.
So I need to invest in like a phone to connect to the two of them.
A phone just for your Tamagotchis. I love it.
Yeah, I mean it's not the most ridiculous thing I've ever done when
It's
it comes to
not. And
pets.
I have spare old phones that just live with old Google Daydream VR headsets. So
Yeah.
it's not unreasonable.
I mean, I
Or
bought
we're
little
both
crocheted
unreasonable.
cases for my crocheted cases for my Tamagotchis to like give them a layer of protection, and just they're cute too. So
That's awesome.
I
I
gotta
will
be extra.
I will lean on the maybe we're both ridiculous.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's why we're friends.
Yep.
We just encourage each other too, which is probably dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
Our significant others are probably like, "Oh God, what? what are they getting into this time?"
Yep.
But I think that about does it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of what we're getting into next time, what are you getting into next?
I'm gonna play whatever my heart desires because I have no idea. I have so many things I could play. But honestly, I just haven't had the emotional energy to start anything new. So I've just been playing like I did buy because it was on sale, and I told myself I wasn't going to buy any more games, but it was like $5 on the Switch site or Switch the Nintendo shop. The DC Villains.
Oh, okay.
The Lego DC Villains game. Because I'm like, I just want something simple, and I don't want to spend the $50 on the Star Wars one.
Yeah.
Like, could I? Yes. Do I really want to? No. I'll just wait till it goes on sale.
Right.
So I'll probably do something like that. Play more Fortnite with my like comfort things for now.
Solid plan.
Yeah. So I don't think I'm gonna start anything new anytime in the next couple of weeks, but we'll see. If I change my mind, I'll report back next episode.
Fair enough. Yeah. As I said, I'm halfway through Bloom on the play date, and I'm another week will roll by, and I'll get another couple games, and I'll see how I like those. I'm halfway through Ollie Ollie World, and I'm digging it. I think I will try play it until it's too hard. This is
when I give up on games too.
I mean, this is a lot easier than the previous couple of games, so I have hope that I will get to the end of it and finish. And then I just recently picked up, because it was like I got some Steam money, and it was like on like maybe a $5 sale. I picked up Fist, which is an acronym, and I'm not going to bother looking it up. You're anthropomorphic rabbit with a giant steam-powered fist. And it is like the aesthetic is like if Final Fantasy VII were an anthro Metroidvania. Like, that's the aesthetic.
Picturing that goddamn fish.
Can't
get it out of my head.
Well, listeners, I hope that you can't get Seaman out of your head either.
Suffer.
For the entire time you will be waiting until our next episode, you will be consumed by the haunting image of Seaman.
All right, well, I'm done. This is over. Thank you so much for joining in, everybody. Until next time.